welcome back to Adobe Live for our last show of the day. Okay, they blocked me and I have to come back for our last show of the day from OFF in Barcelona. This is day 2, and I am now with Roger Lima for the next 25 minutes, and we're going to be talking about audio and music and all of these things. So stay tuned for some how could I say, acoustic experiences.
Oral experiences.
What?
Yeah. Oral
Oh,
experiences.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you said you're from the U.S.
Yeah, I'm Brazilian, but
yes.
I've been in US for 23 years, and I'm based in Los Angeles.
And have you always done sound design and?
I used to play in a metal band. I grew up playing metal, and that made me interested in everything audio. And playing in a band is not very good financially.
So it's a lot of touring.
It's a lot of time, and you don't have a route because you're always traveling all the time. So I jumped to the commercial side of things, doing music for TV commercials, for TV series.
Before we go to the commercial side, what were you playing in the band?
Guitar.
Guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a guitar player.
All right.
Yeah.
Guitar players. All right. And can they hear us now? Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. So, from the guitar player to more commercial things, like how did that evolution happen?
It's a funny story. So in the United States, I used to work for a government facility that I was doing video editing.
Okay.
And then from the video editing, they didn't have any music that was properly licensed to release the things. So I started composing the music for them.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, maybe I should become an audio guy only. And then that's when I made the jump. I was like, I'm going to do audio.
So what became your instrument of choice?
It's still guitar.
Yes?
But I love synthesizers, of course. I play a little bit of drums, a little bit of keyboards, but my main instrument is the guitar still.
Guitar. So we would say that the underlying sound that represents you is still the guitar. And then you build around it with...
For the commercial projects, there's not much guitar actually, because it's usually you have to fit in with the orchestra stuff. So I compose a lot of orchestra stuff and a lot of synthesizers, and it's more in the box, with the computer, because traveling a lot and you have to bring your computer and work from anywhere.
So before we jump into listening to something, I was just wondering, because this is super interesting, because we're in this highly visual context of OFF, with designers, illustrators, and then sound. How do you find inspiration? How do you think about sound or music when you create it?
It's very interesting. So whenever I get a project, we have a brief, of course. And the brief is generally a little bit broad, but I ask them to see the style frames and to see the boards. So, because I get really inspired by colors, and I hear different sounds with different color schemes, and then from there I started with very simple layers to get the pace right. And once I feel like I got the pace of the editing right, then I start adding stuff to fit the visuals.
That's super interesting, mentioning colors.
Yeah.
when you think about music, how does that work?
I don't really know how it works, but it's a feeling, I see it, I say this is a blue, and then I'm like, what blue sounds like? Blue is not a very aggressive color, so something is more mellow, floaty. Red is a little bit more aggressive, and then it all depends. Sometimes there's fast color changes, and then you kind of get crazy.
Because it makes me think of the things that Brian Eno does. With he has some apps where it's very colorful and things, and you play with color and music.
Yeah,
it's fascinating. Hey, talk to us about your work. And
I have a company called White Noise Lab, based in Los Angeles. Like I said, I do TV commercials and things like that. But what I have to play here for you is not a commercial for anyone. This is work that I did with friends. They they do annually. They do illustrations about a theme. So they did it this year. They did for there's a company from Toronto called Polyester. So they did illustrations about sci-fi. So they released a book and they sent to everyone, their clients, and they released the trailer and they asked me to do the sound for the trailer.
Okay.
So this is one of the things that I will show.
Okay, so let's look
today.
at the trailer.
All right, yeah, this is for icons of sci-fi, made by Polyester, music by me.
You. Wow.
That's that.
It's pretty cool.
Thank you,
And,
thank you.
and I was wondering while I was watching it, so did they animate first and then you made the music, or did you make the music and then they animated to it, or do you guys collaborate?
In this case, they animated everything first, and I was
Wow.
fitting
and then
into
you
it
had to
pace it,
it to their.
to their animation, and it can be a little difficult because it has several different sections on it. They change, but it's also challenging how you make the transitions. But I think it works out. Once you get the pace, and then I start like adding layers of sound design that I interlace with the music. And
Yeah, because I guess you also added like the pages turning and the
Yeah.
little light go up on the robot and things like that.
It's very
Wow.
meticulous work. Actually, the sound design is one of the things that takes the most time when you're doing a project like this.
And do you work in an application that where you see the video and then you like kind of see exactly where things happen and
Yeah. I usually work in Pro Tools because it's a standard. But like once I'm done with the stuff, then I ship everything out. I use Adobe Media Encoder to make my deliverables and send it to everyone.
so using Media Encoder to export the video footage with your music.
Video, the music,
Separated,
together,
okay.
and then all the deliverables just audio, because then I can do AIF, I can do dot wave, I can do everything separate. Just put it there, plug and pray, not plug and plug and play, not plug and pray.
All right, yeah. Yeah, it's like easy and it works.
Yeah.
Media Encoder, yeah, and Media Encoder is a lifesaver.
It is.
To quickly, to just send things from Premiere or After Effects or Audition, for that matter, directly to Media Encoder and go have a coffee or a walk.
Yeah, go take a walk. It's good to get out of the desk
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Let's see some other. Let's hear some other things. Maybe something from the beginnings. Do you
Earlier.
earlier? Yes.
Yeah, let's go back in time. It's actually interesting because it's nice to watch older work when I'm doing this kind of stuff. This is like 2017 or 2015, I think 2015. This was for Hyundai Genesis when they released the car in the US, so it was a global launch. So they asked me to do the music composition, orchestra.
And was this again? This is the video. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Or let's work together.
This one had a little bit more elaborate. I created a temp track and I send it to them with a click track, so they have a pace to do the cuts. And then once they get those cuts where they want, and then sometimes they want an odd cut or somewhere, and then I have to kind of retime things to match it perfectly, you know.
Fascinating.
So, yeah. So yeah, this is, I've done this for Hyundai with the InOcean worldwide, and check it out. That
Again.
end tag is crazy. Yeah.
This is crazy. But, you know, and this is the sort of thing where I also imagine, do you dabble with like, you know, surround sound or spatial audio?
Absolutely.
Or, you know, 360, like Daniel Lanois started doing like back in the 90s. You know,
Yeah.
like with surround stuff and...
I actually do that a lot. I worked with Beeple in a big in a big project. We did this. Get out of this screen, it's ugly. Anyway, we did a project for the city of Vegas, and then we went to Art Basel and had an installation that it was the whole building.
Oh, wow.
And it was 5 artists with the VR. They deployed this VR, and it was like early when the VR days, it was just getting started, and I had to deal with the spatial audio.
That's a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
Because there's more and more like stuff like Refik does or like People does.
Yeah,
It's big and immersive, and I can imagine the sound, you know, moving around me or me moving around the sound.
Yeah.
And I think this it's super exciting.
Cool. Yeah, and especially now with the new devices, they are intelligent and they have the head tracking.
Yep. Yeah.
So when you turn, the sound doesn't turn with you.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of interesting because we are all born with spatial audio. It's natural. And then we got stuck with stereo, and then you turn, and then the music turns with you. It's it's not natural, but we got used to it, and then now we can do like X and Y axis and move stuff around.
Does that complicate everything, or does that open new doors?
It does both. I think when you open new avenues to do something different, you're going to have a lot of cool things that are going to happen, but a lot of new problems that are going to happen. Again, like encoding the audio with the spatial, it's complicated because you need to encode and then you send kind of a data with it.
So does Media Encoder do that?
I have not done it with the Media Encoder.
Okay.
Pro Tools has a native, you can like export from there. But Media Encoder is good to export all the discrete files. So you have all the channels there so people can treat it, mix it, or do whatever you want.
So how does it actually work? Is this like, instead of having channels layered on top of each other, there's also channels for each direction, or how does this? I mean, technically,
it's just sort
curious.
of a simulation, like of the head tracking is the big deal on it. So it needs to have some device that is tracking the position of your head. The audio is always in the same place, but when you change, the software does like simulates that you turn in your head.
So it just changes things in the hearing
so
device?
Let's say you have something here, and then you turn, it's still here. So, and then if you go down, it's still here. So there is a difference when you go up and down, left and right. And
Because I'm starting to see that also on, like on Apple Music or with the AirPod Max and the AirPod Pro. The little ones, they also start having that. So when you watch a movie on Netflix, for example, you turn around, then the sound goes there. I think fascinating stuff, I think, for the future. And
Yeah, the binaural stuff is amazing.
Yeah,
The binaural is all printed that, but like is the spatial audio is incredible. It gives you that sensation that you're immersed in whatever you're watching.
let's have a look at one last project that you're super proud of.
Something that I'm super proud of. Okay, let me go back here. I am proud of this guy right here. So this is it's kind of a dark project I did with a company called State Design. They are back in LA. They do some of the most amazing work right now. Heavily After Effects on these guys. You should meet them.
Yeah.
So it's about a quote. It's a documentary about a quote of a guy that said, okay, we all need to commit suicide at the same time, so we're gonna go to heaven. So it's called Heaven's Gate. And this
Sadly happens, but
it is a trailer. And but you see the animation gives you, it puts you in this journey. It's dark, but it's also in some way beautiful visualization of this idea.
So is this like a previs or is this the animation?
This is the animation. This is the main thing.
We're going to talk to you about the most urgent thing that is on our mind, and what we suspect is the most urgent thing on the minds of those who will connect with us. You know, intelligent human beings should realize that everything has their cycle. They have their season. They have their beginning. They have their end. They have cycles. I'm here to offer you, as these are, an opportunity to know the truth so that if you can connect with it. Planet Earth about to be recycled. Your only chance to survive or evacuate is to leave with us.
It's kind of heavy, but it's also like, I know the way the guys from State Design did this trailer, it puts like some perspective in it. Like, can you imagine you're in a cult, you truly believe that, and you're doing whatever the leader is saying.
Yeah, it's usually the voice of a leader, no? And you really get that. And wow.
It's like you have to get into that mood as well. And I think the visuals put me in the mood, you know, like it's dark, but it can't be like too dark. You gotta have a little bit glimpse of hope because they think they're gonna go to a different location.
Evacuate Earth.
Evacuate Earth, which is not a very bad idea. Sometimes.
All right, so we're almost done, and what I would like to ask you is, do you have any advice for people who are starting in the business, or who are, or maybe, what do you suggest as first steps, and how to begin in a career like yours?
Collaboration.
Collaboration.
Yeah. It's the best thing you can do because you start building a community, you collaborate, and then you learn from other people way faster than you try to do everything by yourself. So I think collaboration is the biggest thing. And then that is everything else is gonna fall into place because sometimes we think we like something and then we do it and then it's not really for us.
Do you think social media helped you in your career, like to get your name out there and your style, your music, or did it happen word of mouth?
My work is mostly word of mouth. So it's from client to client, and because I collaborate with so many artists, visual artists, and then they recommend me to other people.
Okay, so
I think
you should really meet Roger.
Yeah, because I think social media it is helpful in some areas, but if it drops like it did, like remember the Instagram drop, people were freaking out because they put everything into that. And my network is more like it's more direct, you know. I have groups that we can talk on WhatsApp or Messenger, and then people like recommending artists and things like that.
So from 0 to 10, how much did you miss off in the past 2 years?
10.
10.
For sure.
Well, my friends, thank you, Roger, for this super
man.
interesting conversation about music. And I think this is a super important topic because music goes with, you know, animated images, with movies, but also with graphics. And as we mentioned, you know, music is also colors. It's so many things, and music is all around us. So I think it's a very, very important part of the creative process. And thank you for sharing some of that with us today.
You're welcome.
And
thanks for having me.
Thank you. And this is the last session from OFF in Barcelona today. But of course, the show is gonna continue in 5 minutes from our US friends in the United States of America. And be back at the top of the hour for some other Adobe Live content. So thanks for joining today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at OFF here in Barcelona. Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.